with us and following the blog posts, you've known that I've been very lazy in getting my Range Rover back on the road. The house has had a lot of things going on. New grandkids being born, remodeling on the house, fencing, taking care of my dogs, that kind of thing. So it's been a mess, and I've been pretty embarrassed that I haven't got this done sooner, but we're about to put the heater box back in the truck. I needed to replace the heater fan blower motor, which goes in this little cabinet right here on this side. You can see on this part right here. This is where it's all housed right here. Squirrel cage is in there with it. Also, if you would have had to replace the heater core, this is also a job you would be doing. So heater core goes down here in this other area. You have to be very careful since a lot of these parts are becoming unobtainium. You have to be careful about breaking stuff, and there's a lot of plasticky bits on here to break. Being careful with some of the ones here. These little cogs that go on the flappers, these are easy to break. I can say that comfortably because I broke this one right here. And this one on this side right here, I broke that one right there and had to order a new one, or used new, old, I'm not sure, but I got it from Matt Gom. Excellent at Roadside Works. I'll leave a description in the link below for that. These bits break. Where else are we breaking stuff? You can break these clips right here that hold the rods that hold the flappers. There's one on each side there. And you can break this rheostat, maybe? I'm not sure if that's a rheostat or not. It's this one right here. You can get a look at that. Where's the camera? There it is. So I broke mine. I broke this piece off right here. So that broke. That piece holds this piece. So that piece goes here. And when you slide this slides back and forth, carries that with it. I broke that right off. First thing I did when I was taking it apart. Broke that bigger than Dallas. So also ordered that from Matt. Got one in. Got it just the other day. Got it installed here. So when I slide this now, I'm sliding that rheostat with it. So yay team on that. Got it good. Putting this thing back together is challenging. Very difficult sometimes. I probably took it apart and put it back together, let's say conservatively 4 times since I got it and started working on it. What was that, on Sunday? Waiting for this part to arrive. I kept putting it back together with the wrong gear or the wrong cog piece right here on the wrong side. I don't know how they manufactured it where you can flip it on the wrong side, but they did. So if you're not careful and you don't put it in the right place, you don't have any place to plug this cog in. No way to have the controls working. I did it on this one, and I did it on the reverse on the one on the top over here. So you count the number of times I took it apart. One time I put it together, I put them both on one side. Next time I put it together, I put them on the wrong sides. And I took it apart and I did it again and put it back the exact same way, wrong. And then finally figured it out, got it put back together the right way. In my mind, I think if I would give this a little spritz of some paint or something, it'd remind me to put it back together the correct way when I do it, but whatever. You'll need new foam bits when you take this apart. I got mine from Atlantic British. Here's the other one right here. These are basically just clips. You unclip them, clip them back together, same way. There's a bunch of them. Do you need them all? I don't know. But I put them all back, so that was good. There's also a C-clip up here. It takes those special little needle tool, put that back together. What else is important about this job? wound up replacing the fan motor, which is up here. So I got new, some pretty wires. You can see them here. Those all put together, and it's almost ready to go back in. I did give it a good cleaning, so got the dust out. It looked horrible, of course. You can only imagine. It's been out of the truck once before, early, probably in the early 100,000 mile range. I popped the heater core when my head gasket was giving us fits, and it started popping hoses, and then it started, after I replaced all the hoses, it started popping everything else. So it's been out once before and put back together. So you can only imagine the inside of my dash, there are a lot of broken little bits, little tabs and screws and all that stuff are all been replaced at least once every time I take it all apart. There's a lot to this one, and it's a very fiddly job putting it back together. Getting the different rods, the ends of these flappers lined up is very frustrating. I got into a bunch of tools. It's like there, I got a couple of pin things to put it in, and at one point I had a string around one of the rods that hung out here so I could pull it into place. The worst thing about taking this apart, when you're taking it apart, you don't know quite why it won't come apart, and you're holding it and holding it, and you're pulling on it, pulling on it, pulling on it, and it's this flap right up here. This one right here. This is the one that gives you the most fits. Let me see if I can make it flip up. Wrong one, wrong one, wrong one. Come on. Oh, come on. I know it's in here somewhere. Which one are ya? Break it where it's not working. Well, I only have 3 rods, and that one's not moving. Oh, that's this one. Oh, that's on the vacuum. I keep forgetting that. Okay. So that one right there. This is the panel that will cause you the most trouble. And it's keyed. It literally looks similar to this on the panel. And the top of this will just barely fit past the plastic on the inside on the other side of this. And this will be the piece that you can't figure out why won't it come apart. This is it. So once you've got all the pieces taken off of it, this one, like, take that little rod off, you can flip it back and forth easily without any trouble. You'll have to flip it to the top here, this position, and then I used my fingers. There's a screw here and a screw here. You got to take those out. I used my fingers and I pressed up on this piece right here as I pulled it apart. Once you get one side started, the rest of the box will start coming apart. It's a challenge. It really is. So once you're doing that one, just remember that. I wonder if I can get close up on that. I don't know if that'll stay on there. So we get really close in. You can see that this piece is gauged the right way. Maybe you can't. I can't tell if you can see it or not because I can't see the screen while I'm doing it. So anyway, that's the one. And that's the challenge. So this is about to go back in. The next challenge is going to be getting these hose clamps and the hoses back in place. They're at the very far back of the engine, partway down the firewall. Super fun for arthritis. So that'll be a challenge and fun. I did give them a good cleaning, gave them a good once over with a brush. There's no major corrosion on them, so there's nothing for it to, once the fluids start moving in there, get it even worse. So, and I did buy new hoses. Got in that habit probably pretty early on. If you've got it apart, replace it. I even contemplating putting in a new heater core right now, but mine has not had that many miles put on it since I put it in there, and I had not had any trouble with it. I don't expect to have any trouble with it. So you'll probably see in the next year I'll have to take it apart because this heater core will fail and it'll start leaking and I'll have to tear it all apart again. It's part of owning the Land Rover. So anyway, yeah, that's it. Not a whole lot else to talk about on this. Remembering where you put the clips, I think is the last thing on there. It's like you can adjust these on these little plastic clips here. You can adjust these a little bit because the threaded bits of the rods are there. But I looked where it's corroded and where it was clean, and I put it right back where it was clean. It worked there once. It should work there again when I'm done. So that's what I'm talking about. So I got everything. I think I've got everything well adjusted, and everything seems to be working as expected. This one maybe not so much. That one right there giving me a bit of trouble. Not a lot of opening there. I would have thought that pushes further back. It does. But yeah, that one's giving me a bit of trouble. I may have to piddle with that one a little bit more. Try to get that one a little more wide open when I pull it open, but for the most part, it should be down there when it's fully opened, and it's not. That one's got a weird slotted rod that has this piece, and it moves, and it's as it gets to a certain point, it should kick it and go. It's not working the way that's supposed to. You know what? And I don't want to take it apart and do it again. So I'll play with it a little bit more. Hopefully I can get it sorted out. That's about all I got today. Thank you very much for tuning in and following my exploits all these years. I appreciate it very much. All right, I'm gonna go get on to trying to get this reinstalled, and I think that's it. More videos later. Thanks.